Y'all better get y'all bodies right, because we going to Africa, child. Drop down in the description box and click the link to purchase this and other health and wellness products. All right, y'all. Y'all are witnessing a first. In the 13-year history that I've been doing YouTube, I have never in my life reviewed a Netflix show. And the reason why I never reviewed a Netflix show is because I always felt like logistically it didn't make sense, because you could binge all the episodes. So going review episode by episode by episode just did not make sense. But I decided that I'm going to do something new and different this time, because I have found a show that I think is worth us taking our time and making love to it slow. And even if y'all have already watched the whole series, I think y'all will take some joy and delight out of me reviewing Young, Famous, and African. Baby, when I tell you that this show gives everything that has been missing from the fabulosity sphere of black people on reality TV, this show is it. Want to talk about it? Here you go. Nessa girl, no matter how much I try to escape this review space, y'all keep sucking me back in. As I said in the intro, I had no intentions of reviewing no more reality TV shows. I'm trying to pivot into something else. And it's very hard because Netflix drops all the episodes at once. But Young, Famous, and African is that show. Now listen, I didn't even know what this show was. Y'all, let me turn the fan on because it's about to get hot in here. Y'all kept bothering me in the comments about Young, Famous, and African. Young, Famous, and African. And I'm thinking to myself, y'all leave me alone with this shit, all right? I don't want to see no more ensemble reality TV about fancy people being pretentious and bougie, all right? Then I was scrolling through Instagram and I saw my good friend DJ Richie Sky. He had posted something about the show, and he and I tend to have similar tastes in a lot of things. So I was bored earlier today, or yesterday rather, and I said, let me take a look at it. Now, I have only watched one episode, but I am here to tell you that I am hooked. I am here to tell you that emotionally, I am my insides are doing cartwheels and having a party that can't be contained within my veins, because there's just so much to express and explore here. The first thing I want to do before we move any forward is I want to just go ahead and say, pardon my ignorance about anything, because I am learning. The first thing that this show did for me was solidify the fact, and I think this was one of the goals of the show, that Africa is not tiki huts, desert land, and starving children with big bellies, right? Now granted, I'm smart enough and I've been exposed enough to know that there were big cities in Africa and they had running water and internet and TikTok and all those things. But bitch, South Africa, Johannesburg is so opulent, it's so rich, it's so wealthy, it's so luxurious. I'm ready to pack up all my bags right now and figure out how I can move over there. But the first thing I gotta figure out is how the American dollar translates over there in Johannesburg. Somebody drop that in the comments and let me know what $100 in American is over there in Johannesburg and how much is the rent. That's the first thing I need to figure out, because we already know the flight gonna be expensive as hell. But when I tell you this cast got it going on, baby, they got it going on. Now, the plot line is much of the same, right? You know, reality TV, to a certain degree, it's gotta have a formula. One person who is the hub of everybody knowing each other. That was to be expected. And we're gonna get in that in a minute. I wanna stay here for a minute though. I always thought to myself that if ever I traveled to Africa, if ever I lived in Africa, that I would have to adjust the things that I was accustomed to fit into that country. And I was really shocked to see that they live very parallel lives. Quite honestly, they're living much better than the rich and famous over here in the Western Hemisphere in the United States. They are living good. But it also made my mind race, because so many times we look at Africa as the pinnacle of blackness, right? And that people who live in Africa are most in touch with their blackness and most in touch with their African heritage and their African roots. And in America, we catch a lot of steam and a lot of heat for wearing Gucci and Louis and Balenciaga and all these other non-black designers. But part of the conversation we need to have now is, what y'all got to say now that the Africans, the blackest of the black, the Africanest of the most Africanest are wearing it too, baby. Because they was Gucci down, European card down. So I would love for us to have that conversation, but we're going to have it at another time. It was just refreshing to see that we have more in common than not when it comes to the things that we consider luxurious, all right? So the episode opens up with this young lady, and guys, forgive me because I'm going to butcher a lot of these names until I get used to rolling my L's and missing my H's and silencing my G's, all right? It starts out with the young lady, I believe it's Khanyi, forgive me. She's a 35-year-old. She said her baby daddy was rich or whatever, and people call her a gold digger because her baby daddy was rich. He was full of scandal, suspected that he'd be getting his money in an unscrupulous manner. He was about 30 years older than her, and then now she's 35, and now she's dating somebody that's 28 who equally has as much suspense as to how he gets his name. Now, African people that's over there in Africa, I don't want to offend y'all, and please forgive me, but y'all definitely have a reputation over here in the United States for being scammers. So when it was like, we don't know what his income is and we don't quite know what he do, I was like, child, they ain't only scamming American women, they scamming the African ones too. I'm glad to see that things are very parallel between the two continents. Nevertheless, mama was living good. Now I'm going to tell you, when the episode first opened up, in my opinion, she was trying too hard, right? And again, part of my ignorance here, I did not know how much parallel between American pop culture and African pop culture existed, right? Because truth be told, she behaved the same way the Instagram thoughts in the US behaved. The body, the makeup, the over-embellishing of the jewels, the bragging on the designer stuff, the dropping it and popping it while she was in the hotel talking about, I want to do like this. While I was like, oh, I was just, I don't know, I was expecting something much different, and I was expecting something that was a bit more unique to Africa. Perhaps I was expecting her to do like this and not like this. But hey, my sis, I'm glad to see that we have things in common. And the beautiful thing about this show is, while being entertained, we are also learning. And I definitely think as a result of this show, you're going to see an uptick in advocacy from the United States for better imaging of Africa. Over here, you're going to see an uptick in travel to Johannesburg as a result of this show. And quite frankly, this first episode of this show has left me embarrassed, ashamed, and actually upset at how much I have been misled about the motherland, and how much our media, in my opinion, goes out of its way to portray Africa in a certain way. At this point, it is collusion on the Western media's behalf to portray Africa to be this monolithic third world country, and I want to applaud Netflix with every fiber of my being for having the creative genius and the gusto and the guts to go out there and say there is a greater story that the world needs to see of Africa, and we are going to spend the money and tell it good and do it better than America ever can, because them bitches is over there doing it. Now back to Khanyi. You know, Khanyi, the main girl, I'm just gonna call her the main girl right now until I can really remember her name. Is it me? Or she look like she been dibbling and dabbling in the skin bleaching? You know what I'm saying? They was going around there throwing the word colonizer around, but girl, you was looking like one of the colonizer wives, because you sure was giving me that you was over there bleaching your skin. And not that we can't have light-skinned Africans, and not that we don't come in every shade, but you definitely was giving me a skin bleaching tea. After Khanyi goes to check out the ballroom, because she getting ready to have a ball where everybody's going to unite, we meet Nadia. Now, Nadia is a rapper that, quite frankly, need to go around and stop telling people she's a rapper, because as far as I was concerned, she was rapping about a whole lot of nothing, and it really wasn't good. And again, it felt very like I'm trying to mimic what the girls do in the U.S., and you weren't doing it that good, baby. Not from the little piece that they showed us. And what threw me about Nadia, and what I'm suspecting, is that she must be the brokest one on the show. Because she pulled up in a Mercedes-Benz GLE, right? And Khanyi looked at her and said, oh my God, you got a new car. Now don't get me wrong, for all intents and purposes, a Mercedes-Benz GLE is a nice car. It's better than most people drive, especially people driving Nissan Altimas and Honda Accords. But the way she was doting on that GLE, you would have thought she was in a damn Aston Martin. You would have thought she was in a Ferrari or something. Nadia! I'm here to let you know, baby, a GLE is a very attainable car for middle-class people, okay? It is a soccer mom car. It is my husband is semi-successful, and he wants me to have a nice car to drive my kids around, so I'm going to go get a GLE. She, like, and then the statement was so, and the reason why I say she must be the brokest one out of all of them, it was one forced statement. It was something to the effect of, you know, yeah, we gotta turn up. I just pull up in the GLE. Y'all do me a favor. When y'all get off this video, I want y'all to go to Mercedes-Benz website and just look up the range of GLEs, then get back to me. The GLE is not that expensive of a car. So the fact that she was running around, you know, like she just was doing it, or whatever the case may be, it just left me feeling like something is a little suspect, and it's giving me a very I'm pretending tea on this situation. But I'm only in episode 1. We shall find out. Now, who is y'all favorite character on this show? I'm here to tell y'all, Annie is my favorite character thus far. Y'all know I have a tendency to always connect with the character that I think is the most down-to-earth and the most real and the most substantive, right? So, you know, we meet Annie. Annie is friends with Swanky. Now, we're in episode 1. I don't know what Swanky's sexuality is, all right? I suspect that he is the gay character on the show. He is a stylist. Not that stylists can't be straight, but I suspect that he is the gay or the sexually fluid character on the show. I assume as I continue to watch, that will be revealed. Swanky is friends with the main girl. Swanky is friends with Annie. Annie lives in Nigeria. She's an actress who's been in over 200 films. She got her own career, plus her husband is a big-time musical artist, and they've been together since they were kids. Honestly and truthfully, it looked like Annie is where the money resides, because her husband is so big, and then she's got this big career, and then now she's trying to come over to Johannesburg to expand her empire across the entire continent. I love the layers to Annie's story, right? Because Annie has 2 kids, and one of her kids has a disease that she was born with that affects her bone growth or whatever. And Annie breaks down and cries and shares that her daughter had 6 surgeries, and I believe it wasn't until her 6th or her 8th birthday that she actually was able to spend her birthday standing upright as a result of the disease and the surgeries and so on and so forth. And so she's very overprotective and pays special attention to this child. I love that dynamic. They bring Annie into the fold at the ball. And when Annie gets to the ball and she meets the other people, you know, she's peeping out the scene. And then, quite frankly, Annie wasn't impressed. She was not impressed with the food. She was not impressed with the people. And then the main girl, you know, she stands up and she gives a very off-putting speech. The speech was very off-putting. You know, we are a room full of the most powerful, I'm paraphrasing here, the most powerful and rich and fabulous on the continent. At my table are nothing but power players. And, you know, I think all of our bank accounts are about the same. You know what I'm saying? And this is to, you know, an expensive night and showing the world that Africa is not a third world country, which I'm for all of that. But it just came off very pretentious. It came off very, you know, we're up here. It came off very classist, or whatever the case may be. And I mean, which is fine if that's the circle you rolled in. And so Annie didn't like that. She was a bit taken aback by it. And while they're sitting at the dinner table, the main girl, and y'all know I'm a very liberal thinker, they're all getting to know each other, and she's talking about how she has this 15-year-old daughter who, you know, they basically let her do what she wants to do. Now, I am all for teenagers and young kids having creative freedom and latitude to express themselves within a specified set of boundaries set by the adults. So she's talking about her 15-year-old and the conversation of sex, the money, the lifestyle, the perks, because there's no way in hell a man gonna go out and have that many children on me, and I have the ability to take his ass for half of what he have, and I still be there. And you can tell she's hurt. Now, what I did not like is the main girl, in her confessional, she was like, hi, she exposed her weakness. Gotcha. I don't like people who play chess and checkers with people. And she gives me a very, you know, I try to find out, you know, your weaknesses and your strengths so I can figure out how to play you and use you. I don't like people who like to puppeteer relationships. And it was that comment alone that left me feeling like, yeah, I'm not really feeling this main chick because she's feeling herself too much. And to be quite honest, it feels like the only thing that you bring to life is being an over-glorified whore. Like, I've been given no backstory about how you're hardworking, no backstory about anything. It's just giving us very, like the people call you, a gold digger T. We meet Quentin. He's a DJ. I like the guys on this show, the African men. Quentin, he's a DJ. He is dating the, and pardon me if I get it wrong, I'm assuming she's white, soccer player. He's rich, she's beautiful. They got their dynamic. She's in her 20s, he's 40s. It looks like it's going to be an interesting love story. I can already tell you their plot line is probably going to be to get married, to not get married, to get married, not to get married. My spirit tells me towards the end of the season, we're probably going to get a proposal and a wedding. We meet Diamond. Now, Diamond is an interesting character because he is an international star. Now, you know, the Afro beats, while some of us here may have been plugged into it before, it's really just starting to like really get popular over here. But when they were like, he had over such and such million followers, I was like, damn, we over here in America have been missing out, because those have to be worldwide followers and not just followers on the continent of Africa. So first of all, salute to you, brother, for your success. But then we find out he's the playboy of the group. He likes everything rich. He's so famous that when he lands on a plane, the army has to be there with them to protect him. I mean, they showed his concerts and it was just full of people. Not that love and hip hop shit y'all be seeing when Scrappy and Akbar V be rapping and performing and they be trying to pack 13 people in a corner to make it look like a lot of people was there. Like, no, motherfucker. He brought the whole goddamn continent out. I don't even know what field that they were, baby. I don't know what plot of land that they were on and how many speakers they had to accommodate. How many people were in the crowd. I know if he got $1 for each person that was in the crowd, he's got to be a gazillionaire. Now, he says he has 4 kids, maybe 6. So we all looking like, say what? Say, He got 4 kids, maybe 6. 4 he know about. 1 with a girl, a lady that he had sex with, you know, way back when. He suspects the child is his. Kind of knows the child is his. The child's now 10 years old, and he says the lady is keeping the child away, and that he's, you know, done everything in his power to try to have a connection with the child. Unless this lady is super rich, I don't know that I'm buying that, because it would seem that it would benefit the lady and the child to be in connection with somebody who is as rich, fabulous, and famous as he is. The other lady, she has a husband, and the husband does not know that the child is not his, but the lady came and confessed to his mother that the child is not. I don't even know why. I guess the lady had to get that shit off her chest. I don't know why she didn't turn Catholic and go tell the priest. Why would she go tell his mama? Because at this point, now the shit is on the show. I mean, it's bound to come out, Miss Ma'am, dumbass, silly ass woman, or whatever. And then we have the little nerdy business guy, forgot his name, and I like him too. We haven't gotten much story from him just yet, other than him and Andy are on the same wavelength. He's rich, does business, connected to Quentin, connected to part of the group, and I imagine that his story will unfold as we go on. Now, I'm only on episode 1, and we haven't been introduced to all the characters. I think there's a few more characters that we will be introduced to, but I'm here to tell y'all, if y'all like that show, what was it, Bling Empire? Was that the one what it's called, with Anna and them, with the rich Asians over in California, when we found out what high jewelry was, then you're going to really like this show, because Netflix has a very unique style of producing docu-follows. Their style is not that of VH1, it's not that of Bravo. It's very in-depth, layered storytelling with cinematography that is unmatched. Netflix takes their time and they make love to their projects slow. They make sure that the projects are not just one big vanity fest, and that there is actually true storytelling here. See, that's what reality television is supposed to be. Storytelling. That's what a docu-follow is supposed to be. And I think that this show is going to be a huge success in the United States for multiple reasons. 1, we're just in love with reality TV. 2, the stories are real, the people are real, the people are interesting, and it is an organic, unique friend group. And 3, I think the biggest thing that is going to draw the U.S. crowd to this show is the simple fact that we are so miseducated when it comes to Africa, that we are learning so much and our eyes are expanding so much while being entertained. So for that alone, whether I like the characters or not, thank you guys for what you have contributed to the lives of Black African Americans as it relates to our ignorance of the continent. We will forever be grateful. We have no choice but to be. But also, congratulations to you guys for taking the world stage and being the leaders at driving the narrative, baby, that Africa is not a third world country. Africa is very first world, and it is very diverse. It has more culture and more diversity and range in 2 square miles of the continent than the rest of the globe, baby. That's what I take. Yes, we've got huts. Yes, we've got tribes, but we've also got diamonds, Louis Vuitton, sky rises, fancy cars, music artists. We got it all, baby. And can you guys on other continents say the same? So shouts out to young, famous, and African. I have got to figure out, guys, how I'm going to review this show best. Am I going to do it episodically, or am I going to watch and clump 2 or 3 episodes together, then come back and do a review? Y'all drop that in the comments and let me know what you suggest. But I suggest y'all go out and watch Young, Famous, and African, because this show got it going on. And I'll call y'all later. Be sure to like and subscribe. And listen, if you are watching me from Africa, please let me know. Drop down in the comments. Let me know that you're from Africa. I would love to expand my reach to Africa. I want to come over and interview the cast. I want to come over and hang out with the cast. I think it would be so dope for me to broach a connection between the U.S. and the cast. If you're watching from Netflix, or if you're watching from the cast, you may not know much about me, but I am a talk show host and media personality. I am a 1/3 of the #1 talk show on Fox Soul or whatever. So we would love to have either of you guys, if not all of you guys, on Fox Soul on our show TGIF as a guest. I think it would do wonders. I think it would do wonders in broaching the bridge between the U.S. and Africa, and I would be down to be the catalyst to help that happen. Your agents, representatives, my email is in all of my IG and social media information. It's funkydineva@funkydineva.com. You can hit me up on IG, Miss Funky Dineva, but I definitely look forward to watching the show. And y'all are so cool. I want to be y'all friend. So let's be friends, friend. Bye.